Perttu, welcome.
Thank you. How are
Uh,
you?
Everything is okay, I guess. So busy working as a composer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all the other stuff that
All the
comes.
other stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
great. Well, I was want to talk about you with you about the recording you did, workshop you did last year at Hollywood Music Workshop,
hmm
and could you tell me a little bit more about why did you want to do the workshop in first place?
Well, I was anyway planning to do the orchestration workshop beforehand, and because the recording is right after that, it just seemed a like clever idea to just I stay there for a week longer and do that also.
Huh?
Uh, and it's a great opportunity because it's well, of course it's not cheap, but it's cheap compared to what you get. You get kind of like you get really good guidance from one of the best orchestrators in the planet, and the players are good, and the recording stuff is great, and you kind of see the whole process from start to finish, and get a good idea about how it's done, how Conrad approaches it, and whatever. So it just seemed like an interesting idea, and to kind of like get a hang of it, how it feels to be in a busy recording situation, and having to conduct it yourself,
Yeah.
and how the foreign musicians will respond to you, and all the jazz. It just seems like a great idea, and it
Yeah.
was.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was great. I was there, but you were not a newbie or new to recording because you did recordings before, right?
Yeah. hmm
Um, what was the thing you wanted to learn from it? Because you were already kind of experienced. Did you what did you learn on the spot?
uh well, for, I thought I was a better conductor, but 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 I got a good idea of what to work on, and what I did know already, and what I didn't know, and whatever. So it's a good reality check in a way, because I've done a lot of, usually when I've been recording, it's I've been in the booth, I've been producing the stuff, and instructing the players, and giving all the kind of like the all the instructions and everything I had now to do, like right in front of them while conducting, and like listening to the stuff, and it sounds so different to the booth than it sounds to the podium, and it was just a great learning experience to kind of kind of get yourself in the mess, and just try to kind of like figure out what is happening, and how do you fix it, and how do you kind of like put stuff together, because in a way, uh, I knew what should be done, but then just kind of like try to figure out how to kind of like how to communicate with the players, how to kind of like translate, uh, what I hear, uh, to kind of like actual instructions and whatever, and kind of like do a lot of stuff, uh, in a short period of time.
So,
And
but
it's
uh,
it's 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 not that short a period of time, but you have to kind of like keep pushing on, because it's surprising how fast you run out
yeah, yeah,
time.
exactly. Because
Yeah.
you were relatively new to the conducting stage. Let's hit on that. You mentioned that. Um, and you also on the stage. That's true. As a conductor, you hear things differently than from in the booth. Um, how did you were prepared to be on the stage and to do the problem solving as a conductor right on the spot within 10 seconds? How did you feel you were prepared for that, or did you had enough guidance to be confident enough to do that so within the workshop?
I think I had the all the guidance I could have in that period of time. So I I I felt that kind of like I had Conrad on my side, and I had Dimitri, the concertmaster, on my side, kind of like from getting to know him during the last week or so, and the players were they were kind of how to say it, they were there to kind of like do the job. They weren't there to like judge me or anything.
They were there to
I,
help you
I
out to get
yeah, to help me out. Yeah,
yeah.
so I felt confident on that side. So it was maybe it's just you really can't prepare for when it actually happens. That was kind of
You
like, okay, now we are swimming. We are actually here in the water, and now let's just make the best out of it.
Yeah, because your piece, Android and Asteroids, Robots and Asteroids, that was
Yeah.
that piece. Um, Conducting wise, as a conductor, I helped you out a little bit on that. It was very, even for me, it was very, very challenging because you wrote a beautiful, um, um, intricate piece with a lot of movement and things going on for the
Mm-hmm.
players, and even for the players, it was a big of a challenge to achieve what you wanted to do. But you didn't make yourself it easy because your meters were all over the place, including that 7/4, 7/8 stuff kind of thingy. When you wrote it, it sounded in your head beautifully, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
did it met your expectations when you put it in a live recording and when you had to do it yourself?
Um. Yes and no. It was kind of like things uh, things worked out, but I was surprised on uh, about the things that kind of like proved to be very challenging for the players. And that was kind of like something that I had to figure out on the podium. So like, okay, like who should kind of like who should keep time? Who has to be kind of like active here? Who has to be active there to kind of like keep it together? Because if it was like a free take without a click, then it wouldn't matter like if the orchestra falls behind the beat or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you have like if we have a time signature change at some point, I know that like we can't like drop behind the beat before that.
No.
And
And
then after that then everything's okay, because then we are on the beat again, and it doesn't really matter because the tempo doesn't change. So it doesn't matter whether it's in 3/4 or 4/4, because if everyone's playing together.
yeah,
Yeah, but it's kind that was kind of like that was a little nerve-wracking for me to kind of like just try to uh step. So if we are behind, we can't be like behind more than a little.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was
It
challenging.
has a certain room, leverage room, a bit, and but you can't get past that limit, right? So
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
with the click track, because everything is done, as you said, with a click track, there is that there is not that um enough wiggle room, as you say, in free time, and
Hmm.
and you have to, as you said, mark it on the spot, right, to solve the problem within, well, preferably 10 seconds.
Yeah, yeah.
In
And
a
it was uh and kind of like maybe I would have maybe prepared the click track like slightly differently after that's the experience, because there are all those like when you're a wind or brass player, you tend to every now and then when you kind of like uh, when you come in for like whatever hits or stabs or something, then it's like you come and then you and then you play, and it's not like uh it's in a way it's like it's their job to handle it, of course. We kind of like the still being on time.
Yeah.
Like in time for the hits, but still it's that's what I when I went through the tracks and kind of like edited stuff together and whatever. That's what I noticed. It's like the wind and brass players tend to kind of like be slightly late on every now and then and whatever, and that's what I felt. That's what I felt when we were recording. That like, okay, how do I solve this? How do I kind of like how do I tell them to be ahead of time in their head?
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
again, that's
yeah.
also the human factor that makes a
Mhm.
recording alive, right? Instead of coming from
Yes.
virtual instruments from a DAW.
Yeah.
You said you had a lot of things to learn, and also you mentioned the orchestration with Conrad. That is a part of the recording session, of course. What did you learn from that? Because I want to. There are a lot of other things I want to add out, but the orchestration. What did you, besides the orchestration class, which is in a different class? What
Mhm.
was the typical thing that you learned from this preparing for recording?
Um, well, one specific thing was I I thought like slightly different, uh, but writing for the clarinets than what Conrad did.
Hmm.
So he kind of like he made me think in a slightly different way about the registers and kind of like we ended up like switching every here and there like the oboes and clarinets like just like flip them
Hmm.
flip them around,
Yeah.
and that was kind of like when we did that, when I went through the school, I was like, but of course it's like this. Why did I do that? Why did I do those bars, two bars like differently? Why? And it's all those kind of like those small details,
Yeah.
whatever kind of like about doublings and when not to double, when to double, whatever. And I think it in a way it would maybe have been nice to like balance wise maybe to have like double winds, but I think uh from like orchestration perspective and to kind of like really get a grasp of how Conrad is thinking and maybe what are the problems with uh how I'm thinking about stuff. I think that kind of like the size of the orchestra and the lineup really made sense
Hmm.
to figure out like the kind of like the uh in a very simple way about the kind of like the roles of the instruments and within section and within the kind of like the
Yeah.
line.
Because Conrad also said if you can write for small orchestra, small ensemble, then it's no
Mm-hmm.
problem to write for big. But if you are used to write for big, then it's very challenging to write it back to small orchestra. So that's what you had you said about doubling winds. If you can write the winds in a single manner, then
Mm-hmm.
writing it in doubles would only add more to what you have in mind. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can make it sound in a single small ensemble, that's what you learned
Yeah.
thing from that. Also in the workshop, we not only orchestration and conducting we did, but also what's very important to us as Hollywood Music Workshop for US participants to know is the whole chain of recording. It's not just show up at the studio,
Mm-hmm.
sit in a booth, grab a cup of coffee and say, okay, hit it. So the the preparation just before even all the preparation before the first note is ever being played. Um, what did you get from that? What was there something that you find? Oh, that's how it works, or oh, if I do it that way within my part preparation, from the score, I need to think about this and then this before. Otherwise, I get the music prep guy mad, or or over the top, or that doesn't work. Even also with the Pro Tool session, you said I had to maybe do something different with the Pro Tool session. Was there a lot of things that there were light bulbs in your head, like, oh, maybe that's good to know?
Well, not that much, because that's the thing I've done a lot,
Yeah,
like the session preparation and also like music preparation, printing out stuff and whatever, thinking about how it should be written. But mm, but it was kind of like it was educational to do it when you like stick with the group and you become friends with them and whatever, and then you kind of like you help this guy out with that, and you hear that the other guy had a problem with something else, and you kind of like run and help him and whatever, that all that mm, kind of like the communal aspects of it,
yeah,
that was kind of like, that was fun, and that was interesting, and that made me kind of like maybe made it even clearer for me, so that like, yeah, it is good that I kind of like I thought about these problems beforehand, and I'm glad I have the experience I had, because otherwise I would have most certainly like run into similar kinds of problems. Um, but mm,
but you learn, as you said, communicating with the others, help each other out. It's
yes,
also
yes,
another way of learning from each other, which is also
yes,
very
yes.
important. We reviewed every score with the whole class, right?
Hmm.
Within the orchestration and all the other stuff. So you can learn as well, or did you learn a new perspective, of have new insights on different um, thinking about certain music? Because everybody thinks different, right?
Um, can you maybe
Yeah, but
elaborate the question a bit?
yeah,
Like, did I learn about music in general,
yeah,
or
because
what?
you are learning from each other. Did you
Yeah.
get something from other people, like, oh, that might be was a good idea. Oh, you do it like that. Well, maybe I like that. That works. Or um, something that you have picked up from somebody else you haven't thought about. Are you still there? Perttu?
You, woohoo.
Yeah, yeah, there you are, back
Ah,
again.
yeah. Okay, yeah, you froze.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
it's
you
just
too.
something. Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I did. There were some like surprises uh, when kind of discussing about our pieces and listening to them and listening to the mock-ups beforehand and whatever, and then uh, like with some people, the music changed a lot during the week. That was with my friend Henry, who with whom we were there. It was surprising, like how much he kind of like still changed up stuff, from like actually changed like the actual music, uh, within the couple of weeks, just based on the like the ideas he had, and then the ideas from Conrad and whatever, and 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 that was surprising, and the same thing happened with some of the other people's music also, uh, and so that, oh, this works like this well when the orchestra plays it. Oh, okay, this sounds surprisingly same. Like okay, like this guy had his mock-up like really thought out. It doesn't change that much, and whatever. So there were those kind of uh like aha moments
yeah,
and whatever. Um, but I think that we talked earlier about the communal aspect and kind of like the working together, and I think that uh, the taping process was fun. it was fun. It was crazy amount of work.
It was a mess, and then
Yeah,
it was fun.
but it was fun to kind of like see how you kind of like everybody got faster all the time and whatever, and learned like the tricks to how to do it and whatever, and what not to do, and not tape yourself to the paper or something else. But yeah, it was fun, and I think that kind of like was added a lot to the kind of like the the group
Yeah,
what's the
integrity
word?
within itself. The show.
Yeah, the integrity, because it was fun when the recording day was done and whatever. Everybody was kind of like really like uh felt that they were in it together, and we were kind of like we had a strong harmony within the group and
Yeah,
integrity.
you all went through the
So
same thing.
yeah, so that was fun, and I think that was a big part of it, to kind of like do everything, do kind of like do it from the very start to the very finish, and all the problems in between, and
Yeah.
face them together. It was nice.
On the music prep, because you said you did, and I know you did it a lot yourself before the workshop. Um, how important would you say to other new people to know this kind of stuff, to know the whole chain? How important would that be for you or for them as a composer to go through?
Extremely important. Extremely important. I think it's like the more you know, the more you have done stuff, and the more you know kind of like what is happening, like what everybody is doing. Because we had with my recording, we still, I don't know what the click issue was, but there was a click issue at some point, and then when the time is running out, I think it's because I worked as an engineer also a lot and whatever. So then just to kind of like know, okay, what are the things that might be wrong in the session, whatever, kind of like to communicate to the engineer, to check this, check that, check this, whatever. Are you hearing correctly? That like the player who had the issue, like do you hear it now correctly? No, okay, do you? Whatever, and then you can kind of like fix things on the fly, and that would have been uh, probably like if I didn't have the experience as an engineer also, and like a Pro Tools session guy, uh, I think that could have like easily wasted like 20 minutes or something instead of the 3 to 5 minutes or whatever. Because that's what I think it's important to kind of like if you have the possibility of to kind of like uh, be able to think what the players are doing. Like if you have played in an orchestra, if you know what the engineer is doing, if you have engineered sessions or whatever, if you have like other music prep guy, whatever, if you have done that a lot, then you know, like if something is wrong, okay, are your pages in correct order? Like you immediately know,
Stupid page turns. You think, oh
yes,
well, that looks great on page, but within the music prep, the page turn turns out to be completely wrong.
yeah, yeah. Or I'm thinking like if somebody is playing wrong, like something is happening, and then like immediately, okay, do you have the right page? Are they taped correctly? And then just okay, yeah, okay, this explains, like written out, and
Yeah,
let's fix this. And if you know that all the stuff you have the experience and you have done it like from start to finish, and you know how to kind of like think about things, it just makes things easier. It makes easier for you to communicate with others, like any one of the other people involved.
yeah,
It just makes it easier
and you
to
have more
like
self
see their
confidence.
perspective, and to fix problems on the fly, and just it just helps tremendously.
Yeah, it makes you more self confident in what you do, either it's on stage or in the booth.
Yeah. That's what I think that is like it's vital. It's
Yeah,
you just have to know the stuff, like nowadays also. You
yeah,
have to be able to kind of like to like make your music come alive and help on as many stages of it as possible.
Yeah, and
Because like
it's
who
not
else
about
will
in
do it if
control.
not you?
It's not about keeping in control, but it's about if you know the basic stuff that is involved in that, then you can, as you said, solve problems more easily, know how to talk to a PT guy, a Pro Tools guy, or know
Mhm.
where all that stuff is. And yeah, that's as you said, that's very important to for us to know. And I'm happy that you say, yeah, I learned a lot, and it is important to young emerging, but also seasoned composers that only hand out the music, know the stuff from start to finish, not only in the recording.
Mhm.
How was your experience with the Hollywood Music Workshop? Because you did a few classes. In general, how was the staff? How was the environment? Did you felt safe? Did you feel safe enough to fail? Or not exactly fail, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I felt it was uh well, I remember like talking about it with the also the staff and the other guys. We got this kind of like a common thought that uh like this is as low and as high, kind of like the stakes are as low as and as high as they need to be. It's like if you are going to fail, you can do it here. It's better to kind of like it's okay to fail here, and it's also like great if you succeed. Like everybody is here to kind of like cheer for you, and everybody is here to kind of like try to like help you as much as they can. And that was a great thought. Like it, the stakes are high, but they also couldn't be any lower, because kind of like you have paid it for it, pay for the session yourself. The players are there to kind of like help you out. You are not spending a film producer's money, or you are not kind of like you are not. It's your money, and it's your session, and it's your music and whatever, and it's going to be great. But it's also at the same time it's totally okay that you don't know everything, because you are there to learn. It's it's a summer academy, and it's you are there to learn. You are Nobody is expecting you to be perfect. Nobody expects you to kind of like know all the stuff. No, you are there to learn. And it's great that you are not like you are, it's not the session where you possibly fail is not the one that somebody else is paying for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that is great. That is great. And it's an like it's 50 minutes of recording time. It's totally enough if things are done properly beforehand, and things are like thought out, and it's great. All the help uh, the Hollywood Music Workshop provides, it's excellent to kind of like it runs, things run smoothly, and there is the uh, you are there to help with the conducting if something happens, and and your piece will get recorded no matter what.
No matter,
And
yeah,
it's
no matter.
the 50 minutes is like it's enough time to do quite a few runs, and maybe like additional like free time take and whatever. It's totally enough.
Yeah.
So it's can run out fast, but it's still enough time. Yeah. So
Well,
I think it was great. I really enjoyed the time there, and I'm not sure. Maybe I enrolled to a class this summer. I haven't decided yet. Yeah.
well,
Maybe some.
you're always welcome, and we also know now where to get the best kebab, right?
Yes.
And the beers and the things. Now, as a final question, Perttu, what would you say to young composers that are thinking about it to take any class at a Hollywood Music Workshop, but also thinking about doing the recording? What would you say to them and advise them to take it and what they might learn of it?
Do it. I just like do it. If you're thinking about it, do it. If you have the possibility, just go ahead. You'll be surprised of how much you learn and how much fun it is, and how much kind of like new friends you'll make, and 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 the stories and everything. It's just it's invaluable. Like all the teachers are so experienced. They have seen so much stuff, and it's there are like drops of wisdom in every sentence, like all the time, and great stories about your whatever famous Hollywood film composers, and surprising stories of how things can go wrong, and how things are saved and whatever. And it's just I really recommend it.
Yeah.
And about the recording, I think it's hard to get a better deal at that price. Like I really think it's hard to get. The players are really good. They are Vienna's top freelancers, and they are also last year they were players from the Vienna Opera, and everything. The brass just blasted the roof off from the building, and it's the players are good. They learn their parts, and if I remember correctly, it was the clarinetist had spent hours on my piece alone, just practicing it. So
And the flute as well.
yes, so they
Spoke to her as
actually yes, they do their homework, and they come there like prepared, and also the recording stuff they were great. The casino is beautiful, and the whole sounds great. So, and there's Dimitri. He's played on every single one of your favorite soundtrack albums, and he's there to play the concertmaster role. So you really get a good deal. I would, if you are thinking about it, just stop thinking and do it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we back?
I'm back.
I can't see you.
No,
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay, well, yes, there it is. No, there is it not. But you can still hear me, right?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you, because we all love Conrad. What would you say about Conrad as a teacher and as a person being in class with him?
As a teacher and as a person in class, was that the question?
Yeah, as a teacher and as a person in general, because he is also on with us on the free day, right? On the boat ride.
Yes, Conrad is a great guy. Like he's a super good teacher. It's absolutely one of the best teachers I've ever had the joy to learn with. And I know he keeps saying he's not a teacher, but maybe that's the reason he is such a good teacher.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But yeah, he's a great person, a great sense of humor, a lot of stories, a lot of he has seen a lot of stuff, and a great work ethic. You'll be surprised of you'll probably see more fatigue after the 2 weeks than Conrad is, even though he's there all the time. He's teaching, he's sharing stories, he's telling jokes, he's like all the time there. He's a great person and a great teacher, and he really holds no back with the secrets. If you ask him about something, takes the score out and shows you exactly how it's done, and he tells the thought process behind it, and maybe he tells you why the kind of like the why he made the choices he made. Why are things done this way? Why does he use weird like A flat piccolo clarinet for some part?
Yeah.
Why does he do all those weird things that seem weird to us? And I think it's great. Like if there are questions, he answers them. If not, he just keeps pushing on with his kind of like curriculum and really covers like all of the different aspects of film orchestration, like during the week. So yeah, I really enjoyed both his teaching and his company.
Yeah.
Just a great guy. Yes.
And his life lessons within the teaching, all the stories. It's not just music; it's also life lessons, right?
Yeah, it's totally, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Perttu, thank you very much for this conversation. I won't take not any more of your time because I know you're busy. So thank you very much. Although you can't see me, I'm still waving. And
yes, thank you.
we talk soon.